But yeah, welcome everyone to the session on EY. So thank you all for coming today. It's great to see so many of you on here, and hopefully you'll get something out of today's session, and there'll be plenty of opportunities throughout to ask questions. So my name is Hannah Jones and I work in the student recruitment team here at EY. So I actually joined the student recruitment team back in June 2021, once I'd finished at university. Prior to that, I actually did an industrial placement program in the team as well. So probably similar to you guys, looking for placements, internships, graduate schemes, etc. I also work in the Manchester office. So what we will run through today is an introduction to EY, so who we are, we'll talk through our service lines as well, our culture and DE&I. We'll talk about our opportunities for you guys, and we'll also chat you through the application process. And like I said, there will be plenty of opportunity throughout to ask questions. So a little bit about us, first of all. So EY is essentially a professional services firm. So we have a lot of roles in finance, in business, in technology, and we have over 300,000 people across 700 offices in 150 countries. So you can see how global we are as an organisation. We are in 150 different countries, so maybe think of somewhere you've been on holiday recently, and we will most likely have an EY office in that country. Not long ago, I went on holiday to Budapest. I gave it a quick Google, and there was an EY in Budapest. I didn't go and visit it though. We work with over 200,000 clients, and each office in the UK may have a certain specialism, dependent on their location regarding the client they work with. However, whatever office you work in at EY, whatever role you work in at EY, you'll get the opportunity to work on a variety of different clients and a variety of different projects. So diving down deeper into those statistics a little bit. So last year we had 3,000 new joiners in the UK. 1,000 of them were actually students. So you can see how much emphasis we place on students at EY and how important they are to our growth. We have 21 UK offices, and they are based up and down the country. So all those black dots on the map there, that is where we have an EY office. So hopefully you're looking at the map and thinking that there is one close to you that you can join. We have offices in Scotland, we have them down in the south, we have them in the northwest, in Yorkshire, and also down in the Midlands as well. So the kind of work we do here, so we are purpose-driven builders of a better working world. We are creators of long-term value for clients, our people and society, and we are redefining the traditional career experience and developing transformative leaders, and those are the leaders that our world really needs today. So when you join EY, you will pick to join a service line. I'm going to chat you through those service lines in a short moment time. But when you apply to us, you will apply to a particular business unit. And we have two different business units here at EY. We have financial services, also known as FS, and we also have UK and Ireland, which also stands for UK and I. So you will apply for one of these. Financial services, they are your kind of finance clients, your banking and capital markets, insurance, wealth and asset management. So if you're wanting to work with more like finance clients, more banking clients, FS is the business unit for you. Everything else will fall under UK and I. So that may be consumer, health sciences and wellness, mining and metals, and also under UK and I, there is a little bit more of a specialised part, which is government and public sector. And you can join any of our service lines and join either UK and I or FS. So these are our service lines: assurance, tax, strategy and transactions, and consulting. Our actuarial service lines falls under consulting, and we also have a lot of technology roles here at EY as well. Each one of those technology roles will fall under these different service lines as well. So each service line has some form of tech roles. So you can join any one of these service lines when you join us, either on the graduate scheme, the summer internship, industrial placement. And what I'll do now is I'll talk through each one. I am not an expert in these service lines. I don't work in these service lines. However, if you are interested in finding out more, there is lots of information on our website that you can go and look at. You can see kind of what you would do on a day-to-day basis. You can also see clips from people who work in these service lines. YouTube and TikTok are also a really good place to go to find out more about these particular service lines. So first, we'll start off with assurance. And assurance is helping business make sure that their financial statements are accurate from start to finish by reviewing and verifying records and accounting entries. The goal is to improve the quality of information for the individuals making the decision, providing assurance to make stakeholders and any potential investors that the company is performing the way they say they are. So assurance is our biggest service line, and it is the one we recruit most students into. We also have tax as well, and tax is our second largest service line here at EY. And our tax teams advise our clients who are organisations, for example, partnerships, charities, individuals, high net worth individuals, on both the simple and complex tax concepts and rules, as well as innovating supportive tax technology so that our clients can make the most informed decision for their operations and futures, manage their tax risks and pay the right amount of tax, thus meeting their social obligations at the same time as helping them access incentives and cooperate globally. So next is strategy and transactions. And with the support of business-minded, innovative thinking professionals, we advise clients big and small, whether they're buying other businesses, selling parts of theirs, merging with another, or transforming themselves to be more competitive. Our clients will look to us to point them in the right direction to make these decisions. Strategy and transactions, a lot of different sub-service lines that fall under this bracket. So there is lots of different teams that you can join if you are joining this service line. So next you have consulting, and in consulting you will work with clients to help them imagine their future by using the future as your starting point. Transformation focuses on how we can help them bridge the gap between who the clients are today and who they need to be in years to come. You'll work with clients to define, design and deliver the steps that they will need to get them there. There's also a lot of different areas of consulting too that you can work under. There's people advisory services, there's technology consulting, there's business consulting, and there's also quite a few tech roles that fall under consulting as well. And finally, actuarial, again, that falls under the consulting umbrella, and that is quite mathsy. It's a lot of working with finance and numbers, and it focuses quite largely on pensions and insurance. So those were our service lines. Like I said, our website is a really, really good tool for finding out more about these service lines. But what I would really advise you guys to do is really research when you are applying to us to make sure that you know what your service line is about that you're applying for and why you would be a good fit for your service line. So if you are interested in applying for us, but you're not really too sure kind of what area or program to apply for, if you go onto our website, we have a quiz called the EY Pathfinder, and that is something that you can go on. It's a little quiz and you take the quiz and it will match your strengths to a particular service line. We also have our Path Motion live chats, and these happen regularly throughout the year. And it's a live chat that will happen virtually, and it is your opportunity to come on, ask student recruitment, ask business volunteers questions about any questions you may have about EY, the recruitment process, and what it's like to work here. And at EY, something that I'm really proud of to work here is how diverse and inclusive they are. So we might be a global organisation with a powerful scale, but our office culture definitely doesn't reflect that. When you join us, you will feel like you belong. We have lots of flexibility, mentoring, and better conversations to succeed. So you will see here that we have 27 EY networks. So for example, the Women's Network, we have the Unity Network, we have 7 race and ethnicity networks. And when you join EY, you can join as many of these networks as you like. You don't have to personally identify with the particular network in order to join them. So for example, I am part of the Women's Network, but we have a lot of male allies, and allies are just as important. So EY invest a lot in you as well, and there are plenty of things that you can do in order to upskill yourself. So for example, is the EY Tech MBA, and that is in collaboration with Hult International Business School, and that is an MBA program we offer free of charge to all our people. We also have EY badges as well, and this is where you can at EY earn badges in future focused skills, and those will help differentiate yourselves in the market. So rewards and benefits are really, really important at work. We wouldn't come to work if we didn't get rewards and benefits. So there's just a few outlined on the screen here. Dress for your day. We have a dress for your day policy in our offices. So you can come in whatever you like. We normally dress down. So we normally go in jeans, trainers, and a t-shirt. However, when you go to client site, it will be a little bit more smarter. But it is up to you. If you want to come into our offices dressed really smart, that is absolutely fine. It's what you feel comfortable in and how you best work. We also have a hybrid working model. So that means you will never be required to be in the office 5 days a week. There may be some days where you are required to be in 5 days a week when it is busy season. However, you will not be required to be in the office every single week of the year, 5 days a week. As a rule of thumb, we normally say about 2 to 3 days in the office, 2 to 3 days at home. Your team will have their individual anchor days, so they may come in on a Tuesday and a Thursday. However, if there is a reason why you can't come in that day, it doesn't matter. You will need to attend client site as well, and it is a little bit less flexible there. And also if you have important meetings, etc., then you will obviously need to come in. We also have lots of benefits as well. So for example, like discounted gym memberships, we have a bike to work scheme, you can buy holidays. So there is lots of benefits and rewards here besides pay. So what I'm going to do now is talk through our student programs. But before I do that, what I will just do is pause and see if anybody has any questions. Feel free to come off mute or pop them in the chat box. I will just wait a few moments. Doesn't look like anyone's got any questions at the moment, which is absolutely, oh, I think there may be, oh, someone just put hi in the chat. So I don't know if there's a question following on from that. But what I'll do is I will just carry on, and then there'll be plenty of opportunities later to ask questions. Oh, I think I did just see a question there. Let me have a look. When is the deadline for the graduate programme? Okay, so we have no particular set deadline. We work on rolling recruitment. So when we have enough people in our pipelines to fill the roles, then that is when we will close. So my advice is just apply as soon as possible to be in the best chance of getting a role. So someone said, how can we contact you regarding graduate scheme internship? So what I'll do is I'll drop an email address into the chat here. And if you have any further questions after this session regarding your application, then definitely feel free to get in touch. I'll answer one more question from Sam, and then I will move on, but we will answer questions afterwards. So there's a question from Sam. What do you think sets you apart from the other Big Four? So Sam, that is a really, really good question. I think something that really stands out at EY, and I've never worked at any of the other Big Four, so I don't actually know, but I know for me, what really stands out about EY is how diverse and inclusive EY is, and just the people. You will go into any of our offices and everyone will be dead friendly. Everyone will be willing to learn and willing to help. We also have like a hot desk policy, so you don't actually have a signed desk. So you're actually sitting with, you could be sitting next to a partner one day and you probably wouldn't even know it, but everyone is dead friendly and willing to help. And I think that's a lot of feedback we get from our student programs as well. So I am going to go on now, and we will continue to answer questions later. So our student programs, so we have our Discover EY, and we have 3 different insight programs this year. We have our Women in Business, which is actually Women in Leadership now, and Black Heritage in Business. And those are for first year students or second year students on a 4-year course. They are 2 days. They will be in person in our Manchester, Glasgow or London office. And it's an opportunity for you to come in, learn more about EY in the particular service line you've applied for. If you perform well on these programs, we will fast track you to our summer internship. And we also have Discover Assurance this year. And a Discover Assurance, it is an opportunity for final years or people who have already graduated. And it's an opportunity for you to come and have a virtual insight day in December, learn more about EY and our assurance service line. Again, if you perform well here, you will be fast tracked to our 2023 September graduate scheme for assurance, and you'll be able to pick your location. We have our 5-week summer internship, and that is perfect for university students in their penultimate year. In order to apply for the summer internship, you must have 1 year left of study. And it's an opportunity for you to apply for a service line, a location. You will come in and you will get 5 weeks worth of experience. So that may include project work, working on client site. There'll be lots of upskilling sessions. And if you perform well, you will automatically be fast tracked to our graduate scheme, which will be for the same service line and location that your internship was in. Similarly, we have the 12-month industrial placement, and that is perfect again for university students in their penultimate year, so you must have 1 year left of study. Very similar to the summer internship, however, it is 12 months long, and dependent on the service line you apply for, you will complete your first year of professional qualification. So if you perform well, you'll be fast tracked to our graduate scheme. And instead of joining as a first year graduate, you will join as a second year graduate. So you'll be qualified a lot sooner. So you have the graduate schemes, and they are 2 to 3 years long. They're in any of our service line in lots of different locations, and you will complete your professional qualification alongside that. And that is for students who are graduating or who have already graduated. So I did mention when I was talking through the service line, there's a lot of different sub-service lines under the service lines. So you can go into lots of different areas dependent on the service line you apply for. Again, lots more information can be found out about this on our website. So please make sure you visit our website to find out more. So the professional qualification, that is a really, really good thing you will be getting from the graduate programme. So you'll spend about 20% of your time studying towards a professional qualification. You'll get time off work to have study leave and go to college. So you won't be expected to always balance work and study, and you will get those days to just focus on your professional qualification. Dependent on the service line and location you apply for will depend on what professional qualification you complete. And there's lots of different ones that we do, but they are all really globally recognised and a really fantastic thing to have on your CV. So what we look for, so we look for you to have a bachelor's degree in any subject. Some of our programs will require certain degree backgrounds. However, it will state that on our website, and there's only about 5% of our roles that do require you to come from certain degree backgrounds. We don't require you to have any specific classification in your degree or any specific A levels. We just ask that you have a minimum of grade 4 or C in GCSE, English language and maths or equivalent, and 3 A-levels or 5 Highers or equivalent to be eligible to apply. At EY, we are really focused about how you perform in our recruitment process, and we recruit on 10 key strengths throughout our recruitment process, and they can be seen on the screen here. So we will test these throughout the recruitment process multiple times, so there'll be an opportunity for you to have multiple times at showing your strengths. So you don't need to be an expert in all of these strengths in order to apply for us. We know that you're not perfect, and some of you may be really resilient, but some of you may not be that adaptable. But these are the things that we look for and what we will test throughout the recruitment process. So before I go on to talk about the application process, and we'll just have a quick look at the chat again. So I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger so I can see it. Is there a spring week that we can apply to? So VIPRA, that is the Discover EY program that I talked about. That is our insight program. However, like I said, there are eligibility requirements for that, so just make sure you meet them. Can students who will be graduating next September also apply for graduate jobs? Yes, so you just need to have graduated by September 2023 with a bachelor's degree in order to join us. Sorry, this chat is really hard to navigate. Bear with me. I'm doing an MSc FinTech and will graduate around next year, September. When is the best time to apply? Best time to apply is now. If you know what you want to apply for and you're ready to apply, get your application in as soon as possible. When can we apply for the summer internship? So the summer internship is open now. So again, apply as soon as possible. Can we apply for technology graduate schemes? Yes, you can. There are technology graduate schemes, so just have a look at what we offer. Do consulting business line be provided with an opportunity to complete a professional qualification? Yes, as part of the consulting line, there is an opportunity to complete a qualification. Again, have a look on our website what that qualification actually is, because it differs per service line. That's a good question, Sam. What does the career progression look like? Is there any good career progression? So when you join us on the graduate scheme, there will be opportunity to progress to senior by the end of your graduate scheme. So you will have opportunity to progress throughout your graduate scheme as you go through and you pass your exams. Following that, there is clear path for progression as well, to assistant manager, to senior manager. So there is definitely the opportunity there to progress. And I will just answer one more question and then I will carry on and go back at the end. Is there any sponsorship for international students after their study? Yes, we do sponsor visas. However, if you go onto our website, look at our frequently asked questions page, that will tell you what we do and what we don't sponsor. So I can see there are a few more questions, but I will carry on and then we'll answer more questions at the end. We'll have plenty of time for questions. So I'll chat you through the application process now. So Discover EY is 3 steps: application form, online assessment, job simulation. For the summer internship, it's those first 3 steps plus an EY experience day. And then for graduate programs and industrial placements, it's those 4 steps plus the final interview. So what I'll do now is talk you through each stage in detail. And please just be aware, for dependent on the role that you apply for, there may be certain elements that are taken out or added in, and you will find all that out when you go through the recruitment process. So the application form is what it says on the tin. It is basically where you fill in all your personal details, what you want to apply for, any previous experience, your qualifications, etc. There will be some motivational questions on here. So for example, why EY, why the role you've applied for. Make sure you really research the role you're applying for. Make sure you really understand why you want to work for that particular role. So we get a lot of students coming to us saying, I would like to work for consulting. And I always ask the question, why consulting, what has drawn you to consulting, and they say, well, I'm a people person and I want to work with people. Well, I can tell you then, if you want to do consulting, if you're a people person and you want to work with people, the best service line for you is assurance, because you will do the most people work, you'll do the most client work, and you'll work with a variety of people. So really just make sure what you're applying for is what you think you are applying for. Our website's a really good source. Our social medias, again, YouTube, TikTok, all those kind of things will help you understand the roles in more detail. Make sure you proofread the form, make sure all your details are correct and everything makes sense. I'd proofread it a couple of times and go back to it with fresh eyes, as you would be surprised how many times people get their contact details wrong and then we are unable to contact you. First stage of online assessments, you'll have a numerical reasoning test, and that comprises of 12 questions. There's no time limit, however, it is time recorded. So how long it takes you will be factored into your score. So we advise you to work quickly but accurately. The biggest advice I can give you guys today is to practice for these assessments. There's two websites which are really good to practice. They're CAP assessments, CAPP assessments, and also Assessment Day. They're really, really good to help with the numerical reasoning test. We find most of our students fall down at this stage, and we find the students who practice really, really do better than those ones who don't. So definitely take the time to practice before, understand the questions, get used to them. BBC bite size as well, and that will help you brush on the basic math skills that will ask you about, so fractions, percentages, etc. Also use a process of elimination as well. So it's asking you, your time is going to be factored into your score. So if the question is asking for you to look at 2 sets out of 5 data, disregard those 3 and just look at the 2, and that will save you time. So this is an example of a numerical reasoning test question we will ask. So I won't talk you guys through it, but I'll just leave it on the screen here and feel free to take a picture of it and do it in your free time. But this is the kind of question that you will be asked in our online assessment. Our questions will start relatively easy. So if you think the first question is a trick question, and I can assure you it isn't, they will start easy and get progressively harder, so just be aware of that. So the answer is also on the screen here, so when you do it, maybe cover up the answer and see if you get to that correct answer. So that is the numerical reasoning test. If you are successful here, you'll move on to our job simulation. And dependent on the role that you've applied for, the numerical reasoning test may be part of this job simulation. So you may just go straight to the job simulation after your application. Mix of 14 questions, multiple choice, written, video, and there'll also be some situational judgment elements in there as well as numerical reasoning elements. Best thing to do for video questions, best way to prepare is get your phone, think of a question, record yourself, watch it back, think what you did well and what you could improve. Potentially show it to a family member or a friend, get them to watch it and see what they thought about it. Make sure you are really reading the instructions before the job simulation so you know exactly what to expect, and again make sure you practice as much as you can. So this is an example of a situational judgment question you may get. So it'll give you a scenario and then you'll be asked to rank the answers in order of what you would most likely do to least likely do. So there is no right or wrong answer with these kind of questions. What we ask is that you answer as yourself. We want to make sure that your EY is the right fit for you, but also you're a right fit for EY. So make sure you rank them as what you would actually do. If you kind of lie and do what you think EY would want you to do, but you wouldn't actually do it, that won't be great because you won't, if you get the job, you won't really enjoy it and you might be unhappy in your job. So make sure you are answering the way you would. And like I said, there is no right or wrong answer, just each question will test a particular strength. So you can see the options here are what strengths each option tested. So yeah, like I said, no right or wrong answer, they're just testing different strengths. And some questions we will look for certain strengths over the other. Next is the EY Experience Day, and this will be a virtual half day online. Run till about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and you will have 2-hour assessment. So you'll have an hour individual assessment and an hour group exercise. The theme of the day is sustainability, and you will also have 2 non-assessed networking sessions. So you will get lots of information before the day and how to prepare for the day. But yeah, just make sure when you're doing your group exercises, you are involving everyone, you're asking for other people's opinions. A really good thing to do is potentially keep time and offer to do the timekeeping. And yeah, just get involved as much as you can, but also make sure you're involving other people and listening to other people's ideas. Again, there'll also be a few numerical elements to this and a few written elements. And if you're successful at the EY Experience Day, dependent on the programme you've applied for, we'll invite you to attend a final interview. And that will be with a senior representative of the business, and you will be asked to prepare and lead a discussion in advance on a choice of topics. You'll talk through that for about 5 minutes, and then you and your interviewer will discuss it. And after this, there'll be a broader discussion where the interviewer gets to know you. There may be some competency-based questions, and they'll also ask you your motivations for the role, your strengths, how your strengths will fit with EY, etc. So that is the recruitment process. The top tips that I would really give you guys are the following. So why EY? So why have you picked EY? Yes, we know it's one of the big 4. What makes it stand out for you? Do you really like their DE&I initiatives? Do you really like their sustainability initiatives? What are we doing in the market that stands out to you? Your strengths. How would your strengths fit in the role? How would your strengths fit at EY? Also your commercial awareness. So we obviously don't expect you to know absolutely everything, but be a little bit aware about what we're doing in the market. Location. So why do you want to apply for that particular location? So if you apply for a particular place, make sure you have a good reason. So for example, like your family may live there, etc. If I could give you any advice today to take away, definitely practice for the online assessments. Practicing for those assessments will only help you and will only benefit you, not just for EY's online assessments, but for any other online assessments that you do. And also research your business area. So like I said before, make sure you know why you're applying to the role. So if someone asks you, you know what to say, why you would be good in that role and what interests you about it. So those are some top tips from me. And what I will say to you guys is definitely check our website out, connect with us on our social media. And yeah, what I will do now is look at the questions in the chat box and answer them. And then, yeah, so feel free to continue popping your questions on there and I'll answer them. Can you develop into different service lines? So that's a really good question. So when you apply to us, you'll apply for a particular service line and location. You then are within that service line and location for the duration of your summer internship, your graduate scheme, etc. Only once you finish your graduate scheme will there potentially be the opportunity, only if the opportunity arises, to swap out into a different service line. So this is why we really ask you to research the service line you're applying for and really understand why you want to work for them. Which sector should one join if they want to do the ACA? So that would be the assurance service line or the tax service line if you want to do your ACA. What do EY look for in the job simulation? So again, like I said, we'll be testing those 10 key strengths, which I'll pop up again on the screen. So we test you on these key strengths throughout the recruitment process, and that's what we will be testing in the job simulation. So these are the strengths here. So someone said about application form having difficulties because they didn't study in the UK. So that's absolutely fine. Just put the qualifications down that you got in the country that you studied in, and we will then convert them to see if they are equivalent, which I'm sure they will be. So can you explain the job simulation exercise in more detail, whether all components are timed, and insight into whether recorded answer would be straight or competency based? Okay, so Fatima, job simulation, yes, again, it will be timed. So you have no time limit, but time will be factored into your score. So just again, make sure you're working quickly and accurately. I can't tell you exactly what's on there, but it'll be a mix of questions from written answers, video, numerical, situational judgment. And before you take the test, it'll give you a lot more information about what to expect. So again, recorded answers, I can't tell you exactly what will be on there, but make sure you've done your research into EY in your role, and then maybe a few strength and competency-based questions in there. Is the work-life balance as bad as some people say? So Aslan, I think EY give you a really, really great work-life balance. And I think if you spoke to any of our grads or internship students, they would definitely agree. Don't get me wrong, there are going to be busy times, and there are going to be times where you don't log off at 5 o'clock, and sometimes where you do have to start early. But that is just the reality of working. But that comes in peaks and troughs, and there'll be plenty of opportunity for you to kind of, if you're having if you've had really busy time and then you go into a quieter time, there will be opportunities to take that time back. We do lots of socials. You can flex your hours as well. So as long as you've got no pressing deliverables or important client meetings, if you want to go play sport on a Wednesday afternoon and you have capacity to do that, you can go and do that and then work later or earlier. It's more about being transparent with your team and your managers and letting them know what you're doing and keeping your diary up to date. So I think the work-life balance is really good at EY, and they really care about your well-being. So is this the application process for Discover EY as well? So Discover EY, this is the application process. So the application form, online assessments and job simulation, and then you will go straight to offer. Yeah, so I will pop the websites in the chat here. Let me just pop. So it's CAP assessments and assessment day. Those are really good places for you to go and practice. Please can you go to application slide with mistaken picture. So yeah, so this is the application slide. I'll keep that on for a second for you to take a picture. Who asked that question? Safwa. I'll leave that up for yourself, and then hopefully you've got a picture of that. And this was the one with the annotations. If you need me to pop it up again, just let me know. Michaela, is the application for Discover EY open? Because I can't seem to access that on the website. So no, our applications aren't open yet, but we're hoping to open them in the next couple of weeks. So just make sure you're really keeping an eye out on our website. How can I use a referral for my benefit? So if you go on our website onto our frequently asked question page, it'll have information about referrals on there. So Discover EY, you won't have an experience day. However, our EY experience days will be virtual. Does anyone else have any questions, Feel free to continue popping them on the chat, or if you would like to come off mute and ask your question. I think I've got through most of them. I will just pop our social media handles on again. When do applications start for Discover EY? So like I said, they'll open in the next few weeks, and make sure you keep an eye on our website. So is consulting affected by busy season? So each service line will have their busy periods. Again, depending on what sub-service line you will go into, will depend on when your busy season is. So how does the referrals work? So yeah, like I said, if you go on to our frequently asked questions page, it'll tell you. Does anyone have any other Oh, there's a few more coming through. So, Christy, why would you say assurance is more suitable than consulting if the applicant says they are a people person? You would, because you are working with the most clients, you'll work with a range of people every single day, whereas consulting, you won't get that much, you won't get as much scope. So definitely, if you're wanting to work with people, a range of people, assurance is a good service line. However, like I mentioned, that EY Pathfinder, that is a really good tool to use if you're not sure on what service line to apply to, and it'll match your strengths to a particular service line. So we don't actually take CVs, so it doesn't matter about the length of your CV. I know Yolanda asked a question about that. Do you need a computer science degree to apply for the tech grad scheme? So if you look on our website, it will tell you if we require you to have come from a certain degree background. If you, dependent on the role you're applying for, it will state most of our roles don't require you to come from a certain degree background, but a few of our tech roles do. So just check on the website, and if it doesn't specify anything, you can come from any background. Any other questions at all? Oh, I think there was one more that popped through. I will reply to this. One is, so if a grad scheme requires you to have a certain degree, can we still apply if we've taught ourselves? No, you will need to come from that degree background. So if it requires you to come from a STEM degree, you will have had to study a STEM degree. So yeah, thank you everyone for having me today. Hopefully you found this session useful. I have dropped the email address in there for anyone who has any additional questions. But yeah, Charlie, I will pass back over to yourself.
Thank you very much, Hannah. Absolutely fantastic insight into all the different opportunities at EY, and really great tips, kind of like little behind the scenes info on what to focus on the reasoning tests, and of course on the job simulation as well. Really good stuff. I suggest that everybody take really close notice of those tips and those stages of the application in particular, as we know that that's a big stumbling block that a lot of students trip up at. So really make sure you were listening to Hannah, and if you weren't listening, you can watch the recording back. That will be available roughly 24 hours after the session, so you guys who saw it live kind of get early access to all this great info. Thank you very much for attending, and thank you very much to Hannah as well for delivering the session this afternoon. It's been great. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you on the next one. Goodbye. Take care.
Thank you, everyone, and best of luck with any applications. Thanks, Charlie.
Bye. Thank you, Hannah. Take care. Bye.